Some of the founders have no recollection of there being an empty seat at the table or a Zoom meeting with a window with an empty chair there. It's something that seems to have been completely erased from their memory. Then blog entries start to appear.
At this point, we must go backwards in the story to before the Lost episode was even posted and follow Elijah Loukas' journey so far. The Order 66 blog appeared to be a place for a younger Elijah to come and post about his experience after watching each episode of the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, as well as one post about the VHS car crash that was the Star Wars Christmas special. That last post going live all the way back in December of 2005, when Elijah was already 61 years old. 19 years later, just after noon on May 18th, Elijah returns to his blog to write this.
Something strange is happening and I'm not sure what to do about it. I don't know where to put all the information, so I'm dusting off my old blogger account and I'm going to write it all out here. A few days ago, I received a text message from a restricted number. Where is GL? That's all it said. I tried to reply, but it won't go through. This morning, I received another text with a link. It was to a Discord channel for a group called Love Thy Nerd. I used to have a Discord account for some stupid fantasy football thing my friend was doing, but I couldn't get back into it, so I had to make a new account when I joined this one. I assumed I was invited by somebody I knew, and it just wasn't coming up on my phone, but I didn't see anyone familiar. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. Could be someone using a username and a weird photo. But almost immediately I began being hounded with strange questions. I found them talking about me and someone else with my last name, Greg Loukas. GL? I don't recognize the name. Not really, anyway. I mean, it does sound strangely familiar, but I can't find or think of anybody in my life with my last name named Greg. I assume it is these people sending me messages, and I told them to leave me alone. But they didn't. I just got 2 more messages. Images.
These images were the same ones seen in the video bathed in red light. We can now clearly see that these photos are genuine, yet there seems to be someone missing from each of them. Elijah continued.
I have no idea who these people are, but I recognize the logos from that Discord. There is something unsettling about these images, but I can't really tell you what. It's like I've seen these photos before, but something isn't right about them. But I definitely have never seen these photos before. I once again asked the number what these photos meant, but my question did not go through. I'm afraid to go back to the Discord to ask because this whole thing is making me nervous. I don't know if they are trying to steal my identity or scam me for money, but they'll be sorely disappointed once they see my bank statement. That's all I know for now. Maybe it ends here. But if not, I'll be back with whatever comes next.
Whoever Elijah is, he is on the same journey the members of the LTN Discord are, with the same clues, but he is receiving them in a different way. So far, each message he has received has come from a restricted phone number that he cannot communicate back with. And one of those messages sent him to join the LTN Discord himself. When he joined, he found himself bombarded by a team of amateur sleuths looking desperately for any kind of clue, which scared him away. But Elijah never left the Discord. He just went silent. But instead went back to reading everything that has happened on their side of the mystery, and continued to follow along with them as more pieces of the puzzle were uncovered. Shortly after 1 a.m., early in the morning of May 19th, Elijah posted entry number 2.
I've been trying to sleep, but I can't. Not for the usual reason. I've got to make some sense out of this because things have only gotten weirder since this afternoon. Or yesterday afternoon, I guess. I told you about Love Thy Nerd, that I joined their Discord and that they assaulted me with questions almost immediately. I thought they might be behind the messages, but I've continued to watch their discussion, and it seems they're just as much in the dark as I am. They've been receiving their own messages. I've done my best to piece together their findings. It seems to have started with a strange podcast episode on what appeared to be a defunct show called Humans of Gaming.
From here, Elijah recounts the Discord's discoveries so far, beginning with the podcast. After listening to the adjusted audio, Elijah says this.
There are several disturbing things about this audio. First of all, where did it come from? Nobody is claiming credit for posting it, and it has since been deleted from the podcast feed. Secondly, who is this person? Specifically, who is he to me? He says his father is really into Star Wars. I'm far from the only person who loves Star Wars, and certainly there are hundreds of men named Loukas who are fans of it as well. I don't have and never have had a son. No children at all, in fact. Janice and I never really considered them. We always had this pull to adventure, to travel the world, to see as much of this earth as we could. We knew if we had children, that would end. Next thing you know, we were in our late 60s before she... It just wasn't a priority for us, is what I'm saying. I don't know who Greg Loukas is, but we are not related. Whoever he is, though, something happens in this audio that I can't quite figure out. He says he sees a flash of light, and he is suddenly in another room in different clothes, specifically a baseball jersey. I make note of that because the LTN group did a lot of baseball speculation, but it didn't appear to lead anywhere. He then has an argument with someone we can't hear, but they seem to be trying to calm him down. Bizarre. After his audio cuts out, the podcast continues, eventually with a group of garbled voices chanting, "There were, are, always 7. And then, where is GL?" The same message I received from the restricted number. Of course, combined with the audio, the question at least begins to make sense. Greg has gone somewhere else. Where is he? More importantly, who's asking?
He continues recounting the progress of the Discord up through the video. He posts a screenshot of the YouTube channel info where he notes that the channel was started in early 2011. But despite sharing the same title and image of his blog, Elijah clearly states that this channel does not belong to him. Elijah continues.
What do I do with all this information? But to cap off what was already a mind-boggling experience, the title of this video, which was posted on May 17th, 2024, was the web address for my previous blog post. A blog post that I didn't write until midday on May 18th, 2024. How is this possible? How is any of this possible? I observed the LTN Discord accomplish all of this and began to then pick apart my previous blog. So I decided to chime back in. I told them that they appear to be just as in the dark as I am, and so I'd like to help them figure this out. Once again, they immediately bombarded me with questions. But they were at least mostly courteous this time, except for this guy named Andy.
When Elijah made his presence known in the Discord again, and made his willingness to work alongside them clear, he was indeed asked a lot of questions. By this time, they had found his first blog entry and the video. Elijah was put through a bit of a vetting process as the Discord inquired about the previous Discord account he spoke of in his first entry that he couldn't get back into. In the end, little was learned by the Discord or Elijah other than they were both completely in the dark about what was happening. After this fresh start with the LTN Discord is when he wrote entry number 2, which he finished with this.
Of course, they were asking me to elaborate on my previous blog entry. They were oddly fixated on the first Discord account I had for that fantasy football thing. It's almost like they were trying to catch me in a lie about it. The truth is, I don't care about football. I barely recall how the fantasy football thing worked. I joined because my friend was just starting it and was excited about it. And I'm sure a major part of him wanting me to join was to help me get my mind off of Janice after she passed. It was a nice thought, but it was executed poorly. Now with all this laid out, where do I go from here? How much can I trust the LTN Discord? Are they assuming I'm another part of the puzzle? Because I'm assuming they are. Whoever this Greg fella is, he is obviously connected to them. I don't see how he could be connected to me other than the coincidence of having the same last name. My final question is, what's with all the puzzles? It's clear someone is trying to tell me, them, us, something. Why not just come right out and say it? After writing all of this down, I feel more confused than when I began this post. But at least I have the comfort of structure. In a dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge lights our way. I'm once again going to attempt sleep. Maybe I'll make some sense of this in my dreams.
While Elijah slept, the LTN Discord went into a frenzy, rehashing every piece of the puzzle so far, including this new blog entry from Elijah, looking for anything they could find before resigning to sit and wait for more answers to come. Elijah appeared to be a confused old man, one who semi-recently had lost his wife, Janice, a man who just wanted some rest and to dream. But late Sunday evening, dreams would turn to nightmares.